Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wow, Wealth, Wisdom Wednesday. Bryan and I are here tonight to host this incredible program. And welcome, Bryan. Glad you're here with me tonight. You're muted. You have to mute. Because I muted everybody. Yes.
Exciting to be here. It's really exciting times right now. We were actually just discussing it. It's pretty amazing the growth we're going through.
I know. Lifewave is soaring and business is booming, and it's all because we have something that all of you know about. If you're a guest tonight, then welcome, and you're going to be hearing some really interesting stories about people and how they've gotten going in Lifewave and what their why is and how they've evolved. And those of us that have been in for a while, it's really good to get to hear and get to know the people in our group, in our company, because this is a relationship business. And the success of Lifewave is because we build that relationship with people, with our friends, with, people that we meet, because we want to help everyone live a healthier life. That is really the aim, the goal of being here in Lifewave. This is what David's vision is. And with that comes an incredible opportunity. We were able to help people, and that is an expansion. When you're helping people, they feel better, they can do more, they feel more vitality and wellness. And with that expansion, there's also an expansion for abundance. And abundance comes to us on many levels, and wealth and money are part of that. And when you feel abundant inside, you're helping other people live better, that makes us feel really good, right? We all feel amazing when that happens. So why not get rewarded? And tonight, you're going to hear some amazing stories. So we're going to get started with that. I'm going to introduce Bryan, and he's going to do the first interview. And Bryan is somebody that has just really come into the company in the last 8 months. So he's really making a fast track because he's already at executive director, almost at presidential. He is the father of 2 sons, and he loves setting this example and, of helping other people. And he started in this industry when he was very young, in his 20s. And he realized that working for himself was the best thing to do. He tried the other way, not happening. So he's been 25 years was with the same company, and he had an international team, another network marketing company, and he made it to the second highest earner in that company. And 8 months ago, he jumped into Lifewave. So welcome, Bryan.
It's an exciting time, that's for sure. I tell you what, they say sometimes when you're this excited, you have a hard time sleeping at night, but just because of these products, when I do get my sleep, it's beautiful. And so I enjoy that. I enjoy the people in this team evolve. I love the heartbeat of what this team is doing and how everybody's working together. And then being able to just have the beautiful opportunity just to be a little tiny piece of this business and watch everybody else that's already blossomed and grown with this. We're so fortunate to have people like you that have already been, Bhimi, you've already been down the road with Lifewave, and I appreciate your continued. You've been on so many broadcasts that I've seen during these 8 months, and you've been an inspiration to me too. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know you. And for all of you tonight, from wherever you are logging in from probably time zones and around the world. We've got a treat for you tonight. You're going to hear from two different people about how this business has changed their lives. And sometimes you'll hear us talking about some of the top ranks in the company, and sometimes you'll hear about some of the core ranks, the ones that, where, I know I just recently went through that. And if you're growing this business like Bhimi and everybody else is, that are top leaders, that we're working with the people, and we're duplicating these ranks, and anybody that can get to this rank can do anything with this, because it's all about reaching manager first. And so I get to interview a powerful woman. She is she's awesome. She's such a team player. She was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and she moved to Miami back in 2019. She's worked in the sales industry for, gosh, coming up on now 15 years. And she loves customer service. She loves that side of the sales industry. She really loves helping people. That's a huge passion for her. She's newly single. She has a 3-year-old daughter, and she's excited about how this company, this Lifewave opportunity, is providing a vehicle for her to be able to have financial freedom. So welcome, Belinda Mendez. How are you tonight?
Hello, thank you, Bryan, for that introduction. Thank you, Bhimi. I'm good. I'm good here in hot Florida, and just like happy to be here.
Well, we all have a background, we all have a history, and I think that it would be exciting for everybody here to know just a little, or definitely for others that can really relate to when you share your story, where you've come from. So what is a little bit more about your background that you'd like for everybody to know about?
Well, like you said, I'm from Mexico. I'm from Monterrey. I moved here 4 years ago, got married, got a baby. And my background has been sales, you name it. I've been selling firefighters suits, copper tube, retail brands, insurance. And it's funny because I didn't like sales when I went out from college, but I guess it was meant to be. So, and also I was in another network marketing as well. And that's when I knew about there was a different way to make money, right? So that's why Lifewave was like a no-brainer.
I remember you sharing with me once about how you spent a lot of your life being a very shy person.
Yes, this is funny because actually when I was a kid, like 4 or 5, they thought I was autistic and mute because I didn't talk that bad. Like they thought, like in school and stuff, but I was just really shy until I was probably 14, 15. I started like, I don't know, blooming, let's say it like that. And I started literally talking more and feeling more confident in myself, like having more, like being more sure of myself and talking to people. And that's when I think I like to start it. Maybe I was like so enclosed those 15 years that then I was like nonstop talking to people everywhere.
It really goes to show that your personality type doesn't matter. There's people at every personality type in this company that are successful, and you're definitely becoming proof of that too. So what was it that got you really excited about Lifewave? What did you see in this, and how did first of all, like, what really just captured your curiosity? Why did you want to join?
Well, Lifewave came in a very dark moment. Like you said, I just became a single mom, and I think I'm not gonna get emotional, I promise. I think this is the first time I said that as a single mom. And it came in a dark moment when I was like looking for something to do from home, since I was going through literally start a divorce. So it was like, well, yes, I can do this without leaving my baby, without leaving the house, and I can do it in whatever time I can, like sneaking around, but like doing it like that. And actually, somebody told me today that is true. The patch did give me happiness, like literally, because the first night that I used it, I was not sleeping, of course, with all the tension and the stress and whatever. Um, I was not sleeping. I was waking up every 2 hours, every 2 hours, every 2 hours. So I was like continuously my sleep being interrupted. So the first night, or the first day that I used the patch X39, that's it. I woke up like, oh my God, what time is it? Like I slept through the night, and it was like, was it a patch? I'm like, okay. So I started using it more. And by the third day, even though that at home I was having any kind of situations that will depress anyone, I was feeling happy. And I was like, what is this? I'm being called names and whatever. And I was like, I don't care. And then I didn't know it was a patch until later that I went to Sarasota to the convention, and I heard that those things. I'm sleeping and I'm feeling happy. I'm sleeping and I'm feeling happy. I'm like, that's what happened to me. So I don't have like a super big story about the patches, how they impact me physically, but that's what they did like emotionally for me.
So you attended. I'm curious also, and I know that everybody else is curious too. How did you build this in the beginning? How did you share this with people? And from what I remember, you attended an event at the end of this January. It was a Team Evolve event, like you just said, in Sarasota. What did that do for you also? So how did you introduce this to people, and how is Team Evolve itself, not just that event? How's this system helped you?
Well, first of all, since I already knew like the other network marketing company, I didn't want to make the same mistakes, because you're trying to do like, oh, I already know how to do it and I'll do it my way. And you don't have to, right? You just like follow what they're saying, just follow the instructions, go to Start X39 Biz, and there's a list of steps you have to do, literally. And like I told you, my testimony probably was not like super impactful, but I was telling them this thing can do things like I've seen and I have seen and heard about what this patch can do. So I started just sharing it and sharing it like that. But I think going to Sarasota did, it's like, it was a booster. It was a booster for like the impact that event had for me. It was like, oh my God, look at all these people and look at all these testimonials, and everybody was crying and everyone was like, oh my God, the woman just like stood up from the wheelchair, and then I'm like, what? So I came back saying all those stories, and I think 2 weeks later after that, I became manager, and it was like effortless, because like I think people can see like your enthusiasm, number one, and like you have to do this. Like I saw miracles. Like I saw people like talking about this. So I think Lifewave came in the middle of my own hurricane. It came to like, okay, do this. This is the way. They're telling you what to do, how to do it. Don't make the same mistakes as the other company, and just stay plugged, right? And I think even though the storm and the hurricane I'm still in the middle of the eye of the hurricane, literally. I have kept that. I have kept being plugged. Like even if I cannot, because I'm working right now from 9 to 6, so I'm doing this at night when I have time. So that's another thing, right? So the time.
Yeah, you're doing this part-time.
I'm doing this part-time and still doing it, like, oh, on breaks, or like at night. I only have like a few hours after I'll go out from work. So it's been challenging, but I'm not letting this go. I know my job from 9 to 6 is not going to pay my bills. And I need to do this because I know it works. And I think the plus of this, Bryan, is like we're helping people. So that's like the cherry on the top, right? So it's like, I know why I'm doing this is to have time for my daughter. More time, more freedom to have with her, and not to have to work from 9 to 6 and not seeing her. So that's my motor. That's my why. And I know it works. I just have to keep doing whatever and don't get discouraged by people that don't see even the benefits. Oh, I need to read this. I need to check. And I'm like, fact check me whatever you want. This works, right? It's like, go and check.
Yeah, yeah. When you patch people, it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. I have like three people right now. Oh, I'm gonna check that because I cannot recommend that if I'm like, go ahead. Tell me if you need some information. I mean, go ahead and just keep like the next one, next. And sometimes it's hard to hear no, of course, because you're so happy about the product, but they don't know. They haven't seen it, right? So
well, one thing I'll say about you is that you have stepped up, and you're even doing Zooms for in Spanish to grow Mexico, and so proud of you for just stepping up tonight, sharing a little bit about your story, and the why that you have for your daughter is so powerful. And it just reminds me of this quote that if your dream is big enough, the facts don't count. And so I'm excited for you. I know we're all rooting for you too. And thanks for sharing tonight.
No, thank you. Thank you for letting me have the time to share that. I don't know if there's any other moms or any other, like if you guys have daughters in the same situation or something. It's just, you just have to keep doing it and it will happen to you.
Well, it's happening for you, and I'm just so excited for you. So
thank you, Bryan.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. So when I got to learn a little bit more about Bhimi's story tonight, wow. And she's, it's probably, I'll bet it's not even like the tip. I'll bet it's just the tip of the iceberg. We can't, when we're introducing somebody that's been through so much in life. She started all these companies. She's, lived in California for a good part of her life. And she's been an alternative health advocate. I even heard that in one part of her story, I believe it was, she used to manage the materials for Tony Robbins at one point in time. And, Tony's really talked about stem cells a lot lately, right? She was at one point in time, she'd secured products for for a particular shopping network, and an owner of an online marketing strategy company, which is huge. So she joined Lifewave back in the year 2020, and she has had probably that 2020 vision ever since, just focused. Obviously, she's already reached the very top rank in this company, something that, all of us, we look forward to. So I'm excited to have all of you that haven't met Bhimi yet. Here's Bhimi Cayce, Senior Presidential Director. Thanks.
Thank you, Bryan. Thank you. Yeah, this is so exciting when we get people together to share their story like this. So getting to know you too, Bryan, is a real joy. You're a very unique guy. And thank you, Belinda. Your story is, really profound, because a single mom, what's important is your freedom and your time. And this is why Lifewave gives you the ability to do what you do and live your dream: freedom, time, and fun. These are the 3 F's that I like to talk about, and you just hit on some of them. So we're now going to move to Monica Penrod. and I guess she's somehow related to you because you have the last name. She is the mother of 2 grown boys, and she has been in leadership and personal development for a long time as a coach, and she has been a Landmark event leader. Now, I did Landmark for years, way back when, so I'm very impressed with that. Landmark was really very transformational. She has been a top earning distributor in another network marketing company for 25 years. And she's co-creator of something called the MLM Leadership Zone podcast, which sounds really cool to me. And she is just very passionate and wanting to help others, live that freedom and have a lot of time to do whatever you like in your life. So come on, Monica, and share with us about a little of your background and what got you going. What really drew you to Lifewave?
Well, good. It's a pleasure to meet you and be with you, Bhimi. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Bryan. And it's a pleasure to be with everyone here this evening. I hope that something that I share will move, touch, and inspire you. And my background has been for the last 25 years the same business that Bryan was in. So I started with network marketing when I was 18 years old. And I caught the vision of what I wanted for my life at 18, because I knew that I did not want to work for anyone else for the rest of my life. And that just wasn't the life that I wanted. I've also, I used to not like people very much. In fact, I used to tell people that I hated people. And I've spent 17 years working on myself in the area of personal development and leadership development. And although I was with this other company for 25 years, and along with Bryan, we created an incredible business of over 100,000 people worldwide, hit many, many different ranks, and had an amazing income and lifestyle. But all during that time with that company, I didn't like myself very much. I had a lot of insecurity. I didn't have a lot of confidence. And I'm very thankful for Bryan, because he was so patient with me throughout all those years. And he allowed me to grow. But there came a point where, you get sick, and I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of myself and not developing in the way that I wanted to, not succeeding in the way that I wanted to in life. And I did my first Tony Robbins event. I believe it was I actually did another personal development course in 2012. No, I'm sorry, rewind, 2006. And it completely altered my life like that in the weekend. It wasn't Landmark, it was something else. And every year since 2006, I have taken some sort of personal development course or leadership development course. And who I am today is the result of practice, training, and development, and putting myself in uncomfortable situations that I did not want to be in, but I forced myself into, because I knew all along what I wanted for my future. And there's a quote by Albert Einstein: you cannot fix a problem with the same mind that created it. So if I want something different in my future, I have to be different, and I have to take different actions. And that's what I did.
And that's what you just hit on is just, that personal development allows you to have that confidence, because as an entrepreneur, you need that to build your business and to approach and talk to people. So I love that part of your story. And so what really got you interested and excited in Lifewave?
Well, Bryan calls me up one day and says, hey, I'm going to go look at this company. I'm going to drive to Houston. I wanted to go, but I had to go to a wedding. And he tells me, I'm going to go look at it and I'll let you know. And I was like, okay, well, at this point, I was pretty much done with network marketing. I had many conversations with Bryan about this, and I would tell him, you know, I love Landmark. I'm probably gonna work my way up. My goal is to become an executive coach and a management consultant for the Vanto Group. And I had an opportunity that came up in last October for me to work for Landmark, and get paid to do what I love. So I took that opportunity because I was done with network marketing. I was done with the industry. I'm going to enjoy my residual income. And that's going to be my journey as coaching. So when Bryan shared that he was going to go to Houston, and I was thinking, well, if it's something great, you know, I'd like to hear about it. He calls me the next day and he's like, I'm in. And I was like, wait, what? My jaw dropped. I'm like, Bryan, are you kidding me? He's like, I'm in. It's amazing. You got to look at it. And the next day I went and met with Paige Hunter, who's been a very, very close friend and business partner of ours for many, many years. And I held that little teeny tiny patch in between my fingers. And I knew in an instant, without really knowing much about the technology or the business model, or really about the leadership or the corporate leadership of the company, it called to me. The company called to me. That little patch called to me. The last company I was with was great, but I was so skeptical about that company for 2 years that I really wasn't in until 2 years later. That company didn't call to me. And although it was a great opportunity for me to develop myself, this called to me like nothing else has. And I hit the ground running. I hadn't gone through any training. And for the first month, I worked harder than I ever have in over 20 years. It actually harder than I have in my entire life.
And what was that work? What were you doing?
So because I have experience in the industry, the one thing I knew I had to do first was I had to create a names list. So I started on my phone, titled it Lifewave contact list. And I just started adding as many names that came to my mind as I could. It wasn't 10, it was over 200 names. And then for the first month, I would wake up almost every night. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and a name would come into my head. And I always had my phone there and I'd be like, okay, add that in, call them tomorrow. And then I'd wake up like 2 hours later, another name, I'll call them tomorrow too. That's what it was like for the first month. And I just started, I hadn't been through any training. And my mentors in Landmark have taught me, act now, perfect later. Act now, perfect later. Because who I was before was I had to know everything. I had to know every little detail before I would pick up the phone and call somebody. And what I have accomplished in this business, I never did in USANA. Excuse me. I spilled the
yeah. So let me just kind of ask you another question here, because what you've just said, you know, the Evolve team and how you get going and what network marketing is about, making that list is super important. You just were on it. You were driven, you know, that inner knowing and confidence that you had because you had already made that decision. And so you really just jumped in. And so when did you start working with the Evolve team, the system, how has that worked for you?
It has, I love the system. Something that I've never seen anything like it before. And I have looked at different companies because I was always open, but I always said to and I want to make a point here before I answer that question. I had said for the last 2 or 3 years, I am not joining any other company unless it does three things. One, it needs to grow hair where hair does not, or hair is not growing. Because I had this little bald spot on the side of my head. It has to do that. Number two, it needs to remove hair painlessly, effortlessly, and cheaply in the privacy of my home. Or it has to practically grow back a limb, because unless it does something that extraordinary, I'm not interested in it, because I don't want to be competing with hundreds of companies or thousands of companies. I don't want to do that. So I'm out. That's why when I saw that patch and I knew, when I was given some information, I knew, I know this industry. I've been in it since I was 18. I know an opportunity when I see.
Whoops. Monica, you got muted by mistake. Sorry.
Sorry, Pat. Where'd you lose me?
Just where you knew this industry.
Yeah, I know this industry. And opportunities like this in Lifewave do not come often. So I knew, boom, I got to do this. So I hit the ground running, started calling people. Nobody taught me what to say. I just intuitively knew. And then once I learned about the Evolve system, all the people that I was bringing on board, I just started plugging them in with Marcy. And I remember Marcy telling me, let me train.
All right. You went mute again, sorry.
Yeah, so what I was saying was, Marcy said, let me train all your people. Because that was the one thing, when I was looking at other companies, the one thing I asked them was, I want to see your system. I want to know exactly what you do to duplicate. And I never saw anything special. I never saw anything unique. Nothing interested me. And I had big leaders from other companies try to get me to go over. And nothing spoke to me. But when I saw the Evolve system, I was like, whoa, this allows me. I love being on the phone. My brother used to always tell me, "God, you talk a lot." And I'm like, it's awesome because it pays me well to talk a lot. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment, bro. It allows me to be on the phone, be in communication and connection with people, building relationship with people. I don't have to spend a lot of time training people. The system does it for me. And that's what I love about Evolve. But those office hours with Marcy are absolutely phenomenal. And her training my people on how to approach and invite their potential clients and brand partners to the technology of Lifewave and to the business model is absolutely extraordinary. Most of the time when people need to know something, I'm like, did you go to startx39biz.com? Scroll down to this section, click on number 8, and that's where your answer is. Where I step in is because I do have I've been heavily trained and developed through Landmark in leadership development and personal development. When people get stuck, that's where I step in. And I can support people in getting unstuck so they can move forward. But as far as the training goes, it's extraordinary. It's
Well,
top class.
You have hit on some extraordinary points. We could probably sit here and talk for another half hour, but we are coming to the end of this broadcast. So I want to thank you so much for sharing. You're a director. How long have you been in now?
7 months. I became manager very quickly. I think within like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe even less than that. I don't remember. And then I was director. Gosh, I'd been in like 6 weeks.
I know. Let me get off the phone so I can go ahead and.
David, can you make sure people are muted? Yes, thank you. Okay. Well, that's great. We're looking forward to seeing you walk across the stage at convention. Hopefully you'll be senior director by then. You've got.
I plan on it, and I declare that that I am walking across stage as senior director. That is my declaration.
Thank you so much. And I hope everybody really listened to what both Belinda and Monica said, because there were so many, the bullet points, the highlights of why you join, what you do, how to get going. And Bryan, I think they both hit everything, right on the nose. So I think they said everything we were going to say. So I want to.
Yeah, I don't like, how do you really end with anything else better than what we just heard tonight?
Exactly. So everybody, you've got your own vision. You know what you want to do. You have your why. You heard the whys tonight. Please be consistent. You have the ability to create whatever you want in your abundance and your wealth. You're hearing how people are so super excited and just consistency every day. So take the knowledge and the wisdom that you heard tonight, what Bryan shared, what Belinda and Monica shared, and go out, do it every day, and really help your teams do the same thing. Like Bryan said, if you can do managers, and help your people do the same thing, 4 by 4 by 4, I call it, then you'll just get to the top of the mountain. Any last words, Bryan?
There's a lot of room at the top of the mountain. And one thing that we heard earlier was that there's basically zero competition. And this is we're so unique. The timing's incredible right now. The growth the company's gone through. I heard an amazing number of something that happened this past weekend. I guess the word will get out. And we've got exciting times ahead. It's just, it's calling out, like Monica said earlier, to a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that that they deserve to be on this product. So have fun sharing and have a great rest of your evening or morning or wherever you're at.
Yes, thank you all for being here. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Great team.